So you're taking the IELTS exam and you want to know how to prepare your own study plan from home and for free. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 steps to create your own IELTS study plan. So let's take a look. My name is Simon from My IELTS Boost. And before we go further with the video, let's just stop and think, what is the main objective of the IELTS exam? Well, the main objective is to test your ability to understand English and to communicate and express yourself in English. This is the main goal. Often we think of lots of scary terms such as lexical range, grammar, accuracy, etc. But the number one goal is how can you best improve your general English for exam day? Think back to how many years you have been learning English, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe longer. The IELTS is a great opportunity to show yourself how good you can become in English in the next months of preparation before the exam. So let's take a look at those 5 steps. Tip number 1, know your goal and do a mock test. Do one today. Okay, so the first thing is you need to know what is your goal. This may be given to you by your institution, the university you're applying to, or the immigration office, for example, or maybe it's a personal goal. If you don't know how those goals match with the common European framework, that is B1, B2, C1, etc., I will leave a link in the description. So once you know what your goal is, it's time to find out, well, what is your current level? How much further do you need to go? Maybe you're ready already. Either way, doing a practice test will relieve you of many of your concerns, worrying what will the test be like, what is required. And it's surprising how many students don't do this before the exam. I know, why? Anyways. So do a mock paper straight away. If you take 1.5 hours to do the listening and the reading, from this you will know your level. You can grade your own work in these 2 areas, these 2 skills. So I will leave those mock tests down in the description, and you don't have to do them both today. Why not try doing the listening today? That one's quick, just half an hour, and maybe you could try the reading another day. And for the writing and the speaking, for this you need someone to practice with. If you can find a teacher, brilliant. If you can't, think back to when you did another exam in English and what was your grade then. Tip number 2, know your weakness. Which area are you strongest in and which area are you weakest in? I am, of course, talking about speaking, reading, writing, or listening. Once you know your weaker area, you know which one you need to focus on. And this leads me to my next point. So let's take a look at tip 3. Tip number 3, it can be intimidating to think about how you can approach each of those skills, the reading, writing, listening, and speaking. A very simple way to divide up those tasks is to break it down into 4 days of the week. Let's say you have time to study every 4 days or 4 days of 1 week. If you can do more, brilliant. So for example, you might choose to do Monday is going to be a speaking day. So I'm going to do a speaking practice paper. On Tuesday, I'm going to do listening. So that will be a listening practice paper. It's a great idea to become really familiar with the exam so that when you walk in to the IELTS exam, or whether it's maybe on a computer when you log on, you know what to expect. But you also need to improve English in other areas of your life. We're not just going to focus on doing mock papers, but do a whole mock paper every week, focusing on splitting it into 4 days per week for different skills. Let's take a look at the next tip. Tip number 4 is immersion. Immerse yourself in English. You're doing the test preparation 4 days a week. Okay, great. So you're getting used to the exam. But remember, the objective, the main goal with IELTS is to improve your general ability in English. So I want you to bring English into as many parts of your life as possible. A great way to do this is read your first book in English. This doesn't have to be a children's book or an English book for English learners, but this can be a book that you would be interested in your first language. Listen to podcasts in English. If you haven't seen my last video about my 7 British podcast recommendations, do check that out. I will leave it down in the description. But this is a great way to bring English into your life in those areas where usually you just don't have time to study specifically. Generally, what we're talking about is not thinking of English in this way as study, but just immersing yourself, bringing English into different areas of your life. Remember, it's 2 months, maybe 3 months to become the best at English you've ever been. Tip number 5, speak. And if possible, speak with a native. Lots of students get worried or concerned about speaking with native speakers. And when it comes to test day and they have to speak to a native speaker, it's the first time they've done it. So they're terrified. So try to speak with a native, or if you can't, try to speak as much as you can with your friends, family, or other teachers from your home country. If you would like to get the opportunity to do more speaking, then join my free IELTS speaking club every other Saturday. Here are the dates for the next clubs. Here I will give you the opportunity not only to speak with other learners from all over the world, as well as of course with myself, but I also give you tips and tricks to help you out with the IELTS. So there are my 5 tips to prepare yourself for the IELTS from home and for free. So now there you have it. You have 1 or maybe more months to prepare for your IELTS and to make yourself proud. You have those months to be the best at English you've ever been. So good luck. And if you'd like help with your speaking, please leave a message in the comments down below to join my free IELTS speaking club. Thank you for watching this video. If you have found value in this video and if it has helped you, then please give it a like and a share. It really helps me out with the channel. If you would like podcast recommendations, as I mentioned before, check out my last video, my 7 British podcast recommendations for IELTS. And if you want to create a new habit for IELTS, a great one would be extensive reading, which I talk about in that video. Then take a look at my habit video from a couple of weeks ago. Well, thanks again, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.